Hello and welcome to the Super Formula 19. Now this is one of the best handling vehicles in Gran Turismo 7. I might even say the best handling car in Gran Turismo 7. And that is because this is a Super Formula vehicle, which means tons of downforce, and the car is just able to take corners as if it's on rails. Now I always say in my videos, oh, this car can take these corners practically flat out. Well, this can actually do that. You're able to go over 260 kilometers per hour going around a bend. You shouldn't be able to do this, but I mean, it's a Super Formula vehicle. The science behind it, the amount of downforce that it puts down, it's just incredible, and you are gonna go around corners like you have never experienced before. This car is honestly just so unique, and I made a full video on it talking about why aren't people using it. Well, with update 1.32 to Gran Turismo 7, we have something new. So we already had the SF19, so now we have the SF23, the big brother, which was actually shocking to me because the big brother is heavier and actually slower than the SF19. So my question is, why is that? Or is it actually even noticeable? Because if we look at the vehicle's stats, we see that the SF19 produces 639 brake horsepower at 10,000 RPM, whereas the SF23 only produces 625 brake horsepower at 9,000 RPM. So we see that there's actually a decrease in the RPM and the brake horsepower, but that means that the modern, more powerful version that's supposed to be is actually a bit slower. And then if we look at the weight of the vehicle, the SF23 weighs 670 kgs, but if we go back to the SF19, we see that that weighs 660 kgs. So it's not a massive difference, but in a vehicle like this, 10 kgs is a lot of weight. So the SF19 is on paper statistically faster than the SF23, but now that's the thing, statistically the SF19 is faster, but if we actually take it out on circuit, is it gonna be the same thing? Because paper and the actual proof are two very different things. So to do that, let's get behind the wheel of the SF23. Now when you get behind the wheel of the SF23 for the first time, you're going to be greeted with the exact same performance as the SF19. Now the SF23 just feels exactly the same. It has the same incredible turning rate, the insane acceleration power. Everything feels exactly the same. So the conclusion to this video is, if you're going to pick one, really they're all the same thing, because there are 4 Super Formula vehicles in game. You have 2 SF19 vehicles, both Toyota and Honda, and you have both 2 SF23 vehicles, both Toyota and Honda. So if you pick one, there's no need to purchase the others, because they're all the same things when you bring it down to a bare minimum. They are Super Formula vehicles. They aren't widely different or like, wow, this car is so much faster than the other. They all have relatively the same specs, and when you put it onto circuit, you're gonna see very similar times. Like I was able to get around Kyoto Driving Park in 1 minute 16 seconds using the SF19, and I proceeded to get a 1 minute 16 seconds using the SF23. The lap times are gonna be incredibly similar no matter what you do, because the cars are basically the same thing. So there was really no like wow overall anything, because prior to the car coming to the game, I had no idea about Super Formula. I did not follow it or just do any research to see, okay, how much of a difference it's gonna be, because I decided, you know what, let's just see how it is when it comes into game. And I was expecting a lot more power, more downforce, just a lot more. I don't know, I was just expecting a lot more from the SF23 compared to the SF19. And frankly, if I had to pick one, I'm gonna pick the SF19. The car is incredibly good, but as I said, they are the same thing. It does not matter. the Super Formula, okay, the Super Formula cars are great for this GR1 prototype series. I'm gonna put this out there because I've actually completed all of the events using the Super Formula vehicles, and as I said, they perform exactly alike. There is no difference when it comes to actually going around the circuit. The same performance you're gonna feel in the SF19, you're gonna feel in the SF23. The cars have great acceleration, incredible handling, the best handling you can experience in Gran Turismo 7 besides the Tomo Vision GT. That thing just broken, that's how you don't even mention it. The Super Formula cars are honestly such an experience that is unlike any other in Gran Turismo. So if you haven't tried out the SF anything, well, you can. The cars are new, the cars are fresh, or you could just try out the SF19s, which have been in game since launch and are still incredibly powerful and do the job just as well as the new additions. So the Super Formula vehicles, nothing special, nothing really unique about it, except the big thing that came along with these vehicles were the menu book. We received a Super Formula menu book that sees it take place over at 3 circuits. We have Sainty Crooks, Watkins Glen, as well as Fuji International Speedway. And these events are super fun, and if you put on the hardest difficulty, extremely hard to actually get done. But it's very challenging, but also very rewarding. So that's the best thing that actually came along with the Super Formula vehicles. And to be honest with you, in the video I made talking about the SF19, I mentioned the fact that we need events, we need to get these cars, we need more people behind them to experience them, because a lot of people are overlooking them and not showing them any interest at all. So I'm super glad to actually see that we have events. Now the events aren't really paying that well. They are all under 200,000 credits, which means most likely all of the player base are gonna play it once and just leave it. They aren't gonna touch it again because there's no actual points. But it just takes one chance to get someone absolutely hooked on these vehicles and experience how incredible they actually are. So as I said, whether you pick an SF19 or SF23, both of these vehicles are incredible. Now personally, I feel like the SF19 is a bit faster than the SF23. Just that added brake horsepower and smidge of less weight, you can really feel the difference between the SF19 and the SF23. But as I said, if you want either or, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, they are exactly the same. So with all this being said, I hope you guys do go on to enjoy this video. Don't forget, leave a like, subscribe for more Gran Turismo 7 content, and I'll see you in the next one.